But the victim communities and the refugees should also be consulted. There are 480,000 Congolese refugees in Uganda. And I was telling you that Uganda is the richest country in refugees.
I was pretending to be a Munyankore when I was in fact a Munyarwanda. That's the only damage. In other words, I am a liar.
I used to come from, I was a young boy, in my 20s, 30s. I would come from Tanzania, come underground, come do underground work here, very dangerous work. Go back to Tanzania. Who was supervising me?
But I don't mind because many of my relatives are in Tanzania, so that I'm your servant. I'm not your servant. I am just a freedom fighter. I'm fighting for myself, for my beliefs. That's how I come in. I'm not an employee. If anybody thinks he give me a job, he's deceiving himself. I am just a freedom fighter whom you thought could help you also. Some people think that we decided to fight Idi Amin because Idi Amin was killing people. No, we didn't even know that Idi Amin would kill people. We just said, Amin, no, don't waste our time. We've been on a journey. We were having enough problem with Obote because Obote was not fully with us, but he was also not, it was just like that. This side, the other side, not reliable, but not totally opposed to our ideas. That's why we were kubembeleza Obote. We were trying to massage Obote so that we can see whether we move forward. But now Idi Amin, it was clear that he didn't understand what he was doing. So we said, Idi Amin, out. Please don't waste our time. That's why we decided to fight Idi Amin.
The reason we fought Amin was not because Amin was killing, the killing people came later. But we were in our Uganda, in our journey of Africa, unity, Pan-Africanism. Now we could see Amin could not understand.
When he talked about Uganda and then Rwanda, sometimes people confuse. And in fact, because I have also lived and grown up in both countries, it's not clear which one I belong to. Sometimes they think, some think I'm the president of Uganda, others think I'm the president of Rwanda. So.
But the issue is here. These Balalo have come to occupy land and displace people. There is a program, a deliberate program to make them settle. They are aided by power. Because you hear from them. President,
isn't your argument a contradiction when you say Balalo are non-Ugandan, but you're saying these same people have army officers who are supporting them?
Kagame is not a Ugandan, but he was an army officer here.
So they are calling Kagame?
No, I'm giving you an example.
Yeah, I'm asking.
There are still some non-Ugandans who are in the army of Uganda. Do you think the Banyarwandas have gone all? Some of them who were here with the Rejema, with the Kagame, with the who, they have remained in the army. And these are the ones who are called. And they speak in favor of this Balalo here.
Once a foreigner competes over national interests or resources, is hated. Why do we hate Banyarwanda in Uganda? Why don't we hate Bakongo? Why don't we hate the Tanzanians? Why don't we hate Kenyans? The issue is, baliche bayingira mu national chi.
Buli foreigner wayingirira bannansi bamukyawa.
Bamulukyawa.
Meza. Ku meza ebadde erisa abantu baffe akakanja. Kati owaffe gwe bataddewo.
Ategeeza Muganga bataddeyo owaabwe.
Museveni is Tutsi. And he is the one who trained, together with people like Paul Kagame, in Tanzania, together with our liberation fighters. And when they came from those liberation camps, then Museveni went and took power from Obote, and then he put people like Kagame and the Hutus and the Tutsis into his army and intelligence. They then started murdering non-Tutsis who wanted power in Uganda. Uganda because they were majorities. And that's how Museveni becomes the president of Uganda as a Tutsi, and then he begins to assist Kagame to then create a force that is going to take power in Rwanda. And then they must take power in Rwanda, instill a Tutsi in Burundi, and instill a Tutsi in Congo. So when they then succeeded in getting what do you call him? Kabila into power, Kabila refused to put Tutsis into his government. And when he refused, then Kagame and Museveni then sent their armies and rebels into Congo with an intention to remove Kabila. Kabila then ran to SADC. And that time SADC had an organ, or the military institution was called the organ, which was being headed by Mugabe. And he said, listen, they want to overthrow me. And he gave them the reasons why they want to overthrow. Mugabe sent a fact-finding mission that it consisted of Zambians, Namibians, Angolans, South Africans, and everybody from SADC region. And he realized that this was actually a problem. So they went to Uganda, they went to Rwanda, they couldn't find Museveni when they went to Uganda, they couldn't find Kagame when they went to Rwanda, but they got information that there was going to be an overthrow of Kabila, and then the UN was going to be forced to actually come up with a policy that says Congo must be broken down into 5 countries. The 5 countries would then be easier to loot.
But the report, which was released by Parliament yesterday, declaring Banyarwanda community as Uganda citizens, whether they are decision makers, you know the history of Uganda. This is not the first time Uganda declaring Banyarwanda stateless or non-Ugandans. In 82, Obote regime attempted, and you know what happened. We are very confident and determined to defend our existence in this country as citizens of Uganda. So we advise them actually to act wisely, to throw away that report and support the amendment of Article 10. It is a governance decision. It can only be taken by the president and cabinet. This cannot be produced as a private member's bill. This happened in Congo in 1960. It should happen in Uganda in 2024. This, if what happened in Congo was not disturbed by the subsequent presidents, we would not have wars in Congo. If this is not enacted, I cannot promise that we shall not have wars in Uganda. This can only be a governance decision. It must be a government bill, and this bill then shall be taken to Parliament by a government that has got a majority of members of Parliament to do the needful.